Hello everyone, welcome to Liberal Tarot. I'm Sherry, a blue dot and a red state utilizing tarot to offer insight into these very interesting times we have going on here in the United States. So I'm really glad that you're here and welcome. The focus of today's reading is going to be Texas. So, I'm sure that you all have read up on this, but just the brief overview. Texas is wanting to redistrict, to further gerrymander their districts and to eliminate 5 Democratic seats. Okay, so the Democratic lawmakers have left the state. Okay, and then you have, which is legal. I want that is completely legal for them to do. It's called breaking the quorum. Oh shoot, I thought I had that pulled up here. I don't. Okay, I had the PBS thing pulled up here, and I apparently X'd out of it. So they have to have 100 lawmakers to pass any legislation. Well, there's only 88 Republican lawmakers, and so they don't have their required 100. So the Democrats have left the state. So, and there's like 50 lawmakers that have left the state to prevent them from doing this redistricting. The PBS article that I had pulled up said, they gave examples of how this has been done in not only Texas, but several other states, throughout, years, and that it's been met with mixed success. However, with this specific case, they would have to stay gone until the beginning of December. And then because of the map would have to be done, there's kind of a time constraint. Like the map would have to be done in order to have the ballots ready, like all the stuff ready for the midterm elections. So that, if they can hold out until December, and right now they're being housed in Illinois and New York. And of course, the maggots there in Texas are just, losing their freaking minds. Their little piece of shit Abbott and Paxton. They are, they're threatening fines, and they're going to remove them and arrest them, and they've issued arrest warrants and all this stuff. And everything that they're doing is illegal. Shocking, I know, because what the Democrats are doing is within the state law, and it's been affirmed for decades by the Texas Supreme Court. So, but we also know that maggots don't care about the law. They only care about getting their way, and they're out there all boo-hooing because California, Illinois, and New York have all said that they would retaliate. So what I want to do is I want to look specifically at the Democratic lawmakers. And I want to look, these are my questions. I have, what will the maggots do? What will the Democrats do? And then what is the final outcome for the district maps? Will California, Illinois, and New York have to counter? Okay, so I'm going to do a base reading. I want to look at the Democrats first. I want to do that side first. Just the Democratic lawmakers, base reading, kind of looking at, are they going to make it to, staying out of the state through that until December mark for them. So jump right here into the reading. As always, this is for entertainment purposes only, looking at the Democratic lawmakers in Texas who have left. They have left the building. They have left Texas in order to do what's best for their constituents. So just base reading in what's going to happen with those Democratic lawmakers in Texas who have left. Will they accomplish what their, goal is? Will they, have repercussions? All of that. Base reading. Okay, entertainment purposes only. And what's coming up in the center of this is the World card. And the here and now, the world is watching. That was like the first thing I get is like the world is watching what they're doing. The challenge is the truth and people uprising. So and that's real interesting because you get 20 and 21 in these are both major arcana. This is the next to the last card. This is the last card in the major arcana. So I'm going to let those sit just for a minute while I see kind of what else is coming up here. The burden card So what's coming in, their options are, it's a burden what they're doing, being away from their families, but it's what, it's a burden that they're willing to carry and shoulder for their constituents. Okay. The past experiences are, there's choices to be made. And this also can mean blind justice. It's like making decisions and choices without um, outside influences. So it's kind of like go within, seek the truth within, and make those choices based on what's right. That's the higher energy of this card. Okay. The lower energy of this card is, like you're not looking at what's going on around you. So, like the MAGA there, not looking around at the law, not following the law. That being blind to the law basically is what that is. So that's going to be kind of encompassed with that card. The recent influences. Knights are changes, cups are emotions. The Knight of Cups is typically in that its higher energy is a really positive card. It's like if someone, were to ask me if they were going to, get, a job or get, something offered and this card came up, chances are it's like that's a really good card. However, when it comes to maggots, it's never going to be read in the higher energy. And so if, this is going to be MAGA here, it's like don't trust them. Okay. That's really the feeling I'm getting with that. Even though I am asking about the Democrats. So I think it's almost like from the Democrats' point of view, they know not to trust the Republicans. They know not to trust them. And then the potential for the outcome here is looking out into the future. Okay, so I was asking from just a base reading into the Democrats' point of view. And for the Democrats, they know the world is watching. The world is watching what is happening to the United States, and they're speaking the truth. The challenge is the truth being heard by the people. And considering Donald Trump's recent, approval rating is, or I should say, is the approval ratings is dismal. It's only like 37%, which how is it even 37%? But anyway, so it's like the truth is out there. And people are hearing the truth, and so they're expecting these lawmakers, and people are expecting the Democrats to do exactly what they've been doing. Finally, it's like where was this energy? But the Texas lawmakers are definitely rising to the occasion here. As I said, whenever I put this one out, the options are the burden that this is creating. I don't know that they had a lot of options. So, this is a burden, but they are acting legally, within Texas law of doing, what they're doing. They are trying to block what the Republicans are doing. They're blocking MAGA. Okay. And so this is, past experiences. They know that, the maggots don't act in good faith. Okay, this is that false friend, that someone you can't trust. They know this. And so what the Democrats are doing, they're looking out into the future. This is the ships coming in card. This is also a card of expansion. I always see this like partnerships, looking out into the future. If someone is building a business and this card comes up, it's like, okay, this is a card of expansion. It's like, are you looking to, expand? So that's, ships coming in. That's the kind of what I'm feeling with that. So I want more of this three of wands. So what is this ultimate outcome going to be? Are they going to be able to block it? Are they going to be able to block the redistricting in Texas? Doing this for the country. This is also seeing something through fruition. The Empress is it's just such a happy card. I think of Mother Earth, caring, giving, nurturing. And so I was asking about, are the Texas Democrats going to be successful? And the Mother Earth card comes up. So this gives me hope. The King of Pentacles, I'm going to see this as taking charge And remember, Pentacles is like that tangible stuff. So normally I would see like laws as being like the swords, but with this King of Pentacles, this is like stability and security. Like they're doing this for stability, security, and yeah, this is the victory card. I think that they are going to be victorious because that literally is this card. That's just my victory card. Okay. And so yeah, this is like more they're not doing this. This is more than just, this is standing on principle. That's what I'm feeling with this. This isn't just to save. It's about representing the people. So it's like, it's not just about saving the jobs, saving the seats, doing what's, this is more about taking care of people. Okay. And that maggots don't take care of people. Okay. We've all seen what happens in Texas. Okay. Whenever, the power grid going down, just everything that goes on there. The world sees it. And so this is what the Democrats can do as the minority party in order to protect the citizens of Texas. So I want to know, so with this, it's looking like they're going to be successful. Okay. Let me pick up some of these. And I want to come back to this. I find this real interesting that these are the last two cards in the major arcana. So real quick, people are hearing the truth. And then this is like the arriving card. So, like you're finishing up a journey. Think of it, like everything that you've worked for, you have achieved. Okay. That's the general meaning of these two cards. So the Democrats know that the world is watching what they're doing, and it's almost like this is their moment. This is their moment to show that, yes, Democrats can have a spine, and they're speaking the truth. And the challenge is for people to hear the truth, okay? Wake up, MAGA, hear the truth, okay? That's I just really feel like these two cards coming up together is just kind of remarkable, and I just am feeling a lot of powerful energy from these two cards together, so I just wanted to take a moment. I'm going to separate these out so they don't come up. Want to make sure I get these back in here really well and divide those out. Oops, cards everywhere. Okay. So now, so the Democrats are looking like they are very prepared to stay until December. Okay. Well, I'm going to ask yes or no. Will they have to stay until December? Because there's a difference between willing to stay and then having to stay. Will they actually have to stay until or through, however, whatever that date is in December? Are they going to have to stay until December to accomplish their goals here? And just 3 cards on this one. And are they going to have to stay? They've left the state. As I said, they're willing to stay. They're willing to stay. Making decisions, and this is like based on, I'm going to see this as, based on principle, like they've made this decision and they're very willing to do it. There's nothing here saying that they're willing to come back anytime soon. Nights or changes, communications. I think there may be in talks with, let me see what this, because I'm feeling like they're in talks. Is this in talks with the rest of, the Congress, or is this in talks with, each other? What is this in talks about? Because they've left the state, and as I said, I'm feeling like they're very willing to. Until they are guaranteed victory, they are staying. Okay. Yep. They have made the decision. This is their legal right to do it, and they are doing it until they claim victory. Yeah. Okay. So, real quick here, what I'm getting whenever I ask, are the Democrats, they're prepared to stay? Are they going to have to stay? And what I get is, yeah, they left the state. They're in talks with returning, and they're in talks with how they can return. I'm going to see this as like Congress, the congressional, I usually see this at the federal level as Congress. So the state level version of that. Okay. So yeah, they're in talks about how they could come back. but they are not coming back until victory. They've made this decision and they are sticking by it. And then you get the 10 of Pentacles here until there is victory. They're not coming back. So good for them. Let's see here. What are the maggots going to do? And by that I mean Abbott and Paxon. Well, he's just a piece of shit. I'm sorry, but they are just... read up on... If you haven't read up on their Attorney General, read up on all of his legal issues. And how he's still in office is beyond me. So, what are... Paxton and Abbott are saying that they're going to remove the lawmakers, and... they're going to fine him, and all of that is illegal. The lawmakers have legally left. Removing them is illegal. So are they actually going to try to move forward with this? What are the maggots going to do? And by that, Abbott and Paxton, or however the hell you say his name. Okay, what are they going to do? Okay, and with that, they are trying to decide how they're going to proceed going forward. I think that there's a lot of talks with this. Knights, I'm a little surprised that the Knight of Pentacles came up, because this is always my methodical card. The lower energy of this would be like being stuck. You know, you're getting too caught up in dogma. And that's probably what is happening right here, since we're talking about maggot here. And then all in the name of Donald there. So the challenge is Donald. Okay? He is the challenge to their plan. So he never helps anything, ever. And really, does Abbott or Paxon ever help anything? I don't think so. So they're all doing this in the name of dear leader. They are going to try. The Justice card, they are going to absolutely try. If they don't do it at the state level, with Donald coming up here, I'm wondering if they're not going to try doing, like, if little Pam Bondi's not going to get in on the action there. And they're all... they're all boo-hooing, saying it's just not, they can't justify what they're doing. So the maggots are all out there, talking about what California, Illinois, and New York has said that they will do. And it's like, they're going to gerrymander and it's not fair. And it's like, no, California, literally, the legislation that they have written up right now is a trigger law. That if Texas does this, then California will respond. And I know that Illinois and New York have said that they will redistrict as well, and that there will not be any Republican seats left, which is fine with me. And so I don't know if they've gotten quite as far in the legislation as what California has. But California is like, it's a trigger law. And maggots are out there, all boo-hooing, saying how unfair it is. Cry me a river. Okay. I'm in a mood today. I'm just saying I have zero tolerance today for any of their bullshit. Okay, so you're getting really snarky me today. So anyway, enjoy. Remember, laughing is a form of resistance. And as horrible as this is, we're going to find a way to laugh our way through it, because Trump hates being laughed at, and the maggots hate being laughed at. So we're going to find any opening we can to laugh at them. And them boo-hooing, it's just like, are you kidding me? They are the biggest baby whiners out there. And then in the past, what came up in the recent, the recent past here and experience, recent events is, the Hanged Man. They can't do anything. That legislation, this special, wasn't it like they called a special election, can't go anywhere because they don't have the members. So, they're out there all crying, boo-hoo, and threatening all kinds of things. But really, they're going to very quickly, and I'm going to do some more on this very quickly. The very quickly justice. It's like they're trying to bring justice swiftly, but as I said, everything that the Democrats have done is all within the law, and it's all been affirmed, through various cases previous years, with the Texas Supreme Court. So what is this very quickly justice thing that they've got going on here? And the quick justice is, I am going to read this as the state legislators there in Texas. Okay, the state legislators, I think that they're actually trying to come to some kind of agreement. It's like behind the scenes with the Democrats, mainly because I also got the Democrats. Is that wasn't that the night of Wands was with the Democrats. And so I'm going to see this as they're in talks of like, how can we have a resolution here? These cards feel much different than these cards. Let me put these over here. Okay. What I'm feeling with this is, this is Donald out there not helping the situation, really slowing down any progress that could be made. Now, remember, I'm reading from the maggot viewpoint. So whatever progress they think they could make, he's not helping. He's actually making it worse. So, okay, Donald, go out there and keep, spouting your crap. And then you've got I'm going to ask you about Pam Bondi, because Trump is just like, yeah, we'll just arrest him. We'll just do whatever we want. We're going to do whatever we want. So when I asked about this justice card, what I get here, this is a very different feeling. These cards this feels like the Republicans and the Democrats are actually trying to come to some kind of agreement, but the Democrats are not backing down. They're like, no, this is what we want. We will stay there. We will stay gone until December if that's what it takes. Okay. So is Pam Bondi, going to be involved in this in any way? Because I'm wondering if this is the federal, AG. So Pam Bondi, is she going to be involved in this? And I'm kind of feeling like they're really. I understand that the Pam Bondi really doesn't have anything to do with this. However, when has that ever stopped them? So with this, foxes loose in the hen house. This is, like trying to steal people's votes, the toxicity of the situation, and people hear the truth. Yeah, this is not going to pass. Whatever it is that they try doing, you get people uprising. People are not going to allow this to happen. They see through this toxicity and what it is that they're trying to do. Once again, is the Pam Bondi going to try to interfere with this? This is just like, it's like they said they were going to leave. And so the maggots continued. So the Democrats left, and it's just like, that's it. That's the way that is. So Trump is going to sit there and continue, spewing all of his BS. Meanwhile, there are actual talks with the Democrats. If not, expect that to come out okay, we actually need you to come back. And they're not going to come back unless there is some ironclad agreement that this districting map is not going to happen. So let me just ask one final, is this redistricting going to happen in Texas? And with that, action taken. I really don't think that it is, because, I'm like, just the meanings of these cards is like, this is the happiness card. It's also in the lower energy, drunk on power. Okay. You get gluttony. The lower energy is gluttony, and that's why I say, drunk on power. Here you have, this is actually seeking a righteous path, but with maggot, remember, shine the light into those dark crevices to show me the law that I can use to manipulate to get what I want. And then the Ace of Swords is, and honestly, the double-edged sword. Okay. So Democrats, higher energy is, they're very happy. This is like they're happy to stay the course in order to do what's right for their constituents. Okay. So they're not happy about having to leave, but they're very willing. So instead of happy, maybe willing, that's a better word. They're very willing to walk this path. Okay, for what's right. And what's interesting, though, is that the swords comes up, and this is like the double edge. So, I could read this both ways. I could read this. It is, both ways here. So, once again, will this redistricting map go through? They're staying the course. And I don't think that I don't think that it is. I'm, battle weary, but they're staying the course. They don't trust. I really don't think that they trust. I got, what was that? There was the Knight of Cups in there earlier of not trusting. And so, like, whatever it is that they do, if the Democrats return before December, they will have, like, whatever ironclad assurances that they, yeah. So, this is run a little long, but I still am gonna ask one more question. I always say just one more question. Yes or no? What does it look like? Will they start trying to arrest these Democrats or removing them out of their elected seats? Will they actually start trying to remove these lawmakers? Will they try to remove them? Talking, agreements, karma's a bitch, Wheel of Fortune. I think that they actually are. But it's like, the feeling I'm getting is like it just kind of blows up in their face. Yeah, these Democrats, they are not going anywhere at all. So, yeah, I'm just kind of getting I'm kind of getting that same thing of the Democrats they're not coming back until there's assurances that this is not going through. So yeah, intuitively, I don't think that they'll stay gone the entire, until December. I'm feeling like they will come back before that. But right now, they are willing, they are able, and they are not backing down. This redistricting map is, if the maggots in Texas do this anyway, it's almost like this feeling like they're breaking their own laws, which wouldn't surprise me. So as of right now, it also almost feels like there's some kind of talks going on to try to get the Democrats to come back, but they're not falling for it, okay? Not falling for it at all. And so every time I asked, it was like, doesn't matter what the Republicans do. Doesn't matter. They are going to stay the course. The Democrats are going to stay the course to prevent this from even getting voted on. So go them. I will definitely keep watching this because I have a feeling this isn't going to be the last time I do a reading on this. Because even as it's like I'm going December, like they're really like ready to, they are 100% prepared to stay until December. I'm feeling like they won't have to do that. And I'm kind of wondering if it's not because of maybe, with so many of my readings, it's like I get like, oh yeah, this is all like planning on going forward, and then like something else happens that makes this like not necessary. So that's kind of what I'm feeling with this, with even this one too. That I don't know that they'll have to stay until December, but that they're very prepared to do that. And yeah. Well, I will watch this and see. So thank you very much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. I will put another reading up here for you to check out and subscribe. And I will catch you on the next reading. Have a good day.